Now it is my pleasure and honor to invite a leader of our Parents Association to share his experience with us. It is Dr. or bác sĩ Võ Thừa Thiên, or also commonly, affectionately known among our faculty, our community as Dr. Tom. Dr. Tom, would you please come up? All right, so Dr. Tom, what was going on with you and your family on April 30th, 1975, and in subsequent?
Okay, cảm ơn chị Xuân Nguyệt. Thank you to the school for inviting me up to talk. So in 1975, April 30th, I was 5 years old. I don't remember it very well, but what I do remember on that day was it was chaotic. We had our house was, my grandmother's house was on a street called Hai Bà Trưng, Romo, Saigon. On that day, the only thing I remember was a bunch of soldiers coming to our house and change into civilian clothes. That's all I remember. Of course, I didn't know what that meant, but of course, now it just means that everybody was trying to survive. After that day, my father, who was an army doctor in the South Vietnamese Army, and my mom, who was a teacher, she was actually taught 12th grade science at one of the school in Saigon. We went down to Bien Hoa, which is a suburb of Saigon, where we stayed. And my father was put into what they call re-education camp, maybe a few months later, where he stayed for 2 years. And when he came out 2 years later, it turned out that he either escaped or they tried to put him back in jail. So he basically went underground. So from the time that was 5 to 1980, when we escaped Vietnam, we basically went underground and hid for about 5 years. So we went from Saigon to Bien Hoa to Vũng Tàu and just hid in any houses that we could find because he was basically wanted.
When and how did you and your family leave Vietnam and come to America?
Come on, Kate. So from 1975 to 1980, it was a very, very tough period. Very tough. There was an embargo on Vietnam right after the war. There was sanctions. There were no food, no rice, no oil. Obviously, no animal meat of any kind, no protein. It was a very tough time. I remember it. And I think that was one of the reasons why a lot of people left between 75 to 81. Not only because of the oppressive communist regime, but also because of the economic sanction and just the day-to-day hardship that people found. And obviously at that time, as you can saw, there were a lot of people trying to get out through any route necessary. So our story was how we took the boat. We went from Vũng Tàu to Đảo Bình Đông, in fact. And Daniel was also in Bình Đông almost at the same time that I was. But it was not easy just to get out. And we knew that 50% of the people who went on the boat died. 50%. And on top of that, as you know, these boats are not like the Royal Caribbean that you see today. They're not like that. They're small, maybe 20-foot boat with an engine that may be 30 years old. So when you go out to sea, anything could happen, right? You could have a hole in your boat. The engine could blow. You could run out of fuel, run out of gas, run out of water. Pirates could come. So a lot of risk that people took, but yet they still took that risk, right? And so the reason they took that risk was freedom, because they wanted a better future for us. And so my parents took us about 12 tries to get out. And if we didn't leave the 12th try, we probably be stuck in Vietnam as of today. And the other issue was financial. In order to go, you need money. You need to pay people to get on a boat. And so money was what we didn't have. And so they took all the savings, basically risked it on that one boat, and basically put everything into that trip. And if that didn't work, well, either we stay and go to jail or we die, right? So that basically that was the risk. And so I would encourage all the young people out here to talk to your mom, talk to your dad, your grandparents, because my story is not unique at all whatsoever. It's very common, very common. So I would encourage you to talk with them, get their story, and basically think about it, think about all the hardship it took in order to get here.
What were some of the initial challenges in America for you and your family, and how did y'all manage?
Yeah, thank you, Dee, so much. So obviously coming to a new country is always tough, right? But I think the privilege that we have was that we know the alternative. The alternative to living here is living with communism, which is a lot worse in our opinion. So obviously we had to learn English, we had to adapt to a new country. We look different than everybody else, right? Maybe some people make fun of us, maybe some people bully us. We knew all that, and all that happened. And when I came here, I was about 11, so I had it sort of easy, but my parents came here when they were 40s. So they had to learn a new language, get a new job, and adapt to a new life. Very difficult. So just imagine you guys leaving everything here and move to, say, China, or Australia, or Europe, or Africa, somewhere else, where it's completely foreign, completely different. And so you just have to do it. And the reason that I think we never give up was because of our experience leaving the communist country to come here. Because without that experience, we wouldn't have a goal to reach, and the goal was to be successful. Because that is basically the revenge, right? In order to give revenge, you just have to have a great life and be successful in life. And never ever give up. That's basically the motto is never ever give up, simply because the hardship that your parents, your grandparents went through to come here is something that I don't think you should forget. And once again, I encourage every single one of you young people to talk to your mom, dad, grandparents, get their story, because their stories are very similar to our stories.
What else about your experiences has shaped your life, and what guidance would you like to offer to our young Vietnamese in the audience?
Okay, thank you, Jay. Yeah, so once again, the guidance is that no matter how you think about America, no matter what you think your current life situation is, just remember that other folks, your parents, your ancestors, probably have had a much tougher life than you did, right? And so once again, it doesn't matter, let's just say if you look different, people may make fun of you, you may get bullied, it's all normal, it's all normal. But don't let that be a disruptor to having a great life, right? Because I think that experience will only help and shape your future so that you can be the best that you could be with anything that you want to be. And so the answer to Sumira's question, the thing that shaped me the most was the ability to never give up, look at the big picture, and remember why you're here. You're here because of our grandparents and our parents, and you're here because you have a great opportunity. And so do not give away this opportunity in order to be the best at whatever you want to be.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you also for your leadership, generosity, and contributions to our school as well as to the Houston community.